Okay, welcome and thank you for fielding questions on Magick. We had some really good questions. We had a couple of odd ones and a few that weren't really questions but statements. But let's go through them and I'll do my best to answer them. Okay, the first one we have is from Anna Kogli. I'm not sure how to pronounce that because it's a username. So, and this person asks, tips on manipulation spells and how they work in your experience, how these can work better. No moral advice, please and thank you. Okay, well, thanks for your question. But since you've given me stipulations and guidelines, I'm just going to say this. I don't use manipulation spells. I don't need to. Perhaps throughout our lives we manipulate people, maybe more unknowingly, or if we want things from family members or whatever, but I don't use spells for that. I don't need to. So sorry. Next question. Next question is from Warlock the Vigilante. Okay, thank you for posting 2 questions. You have 2 questions here. The first one is how to use spells to stop people from harming you. Okay, that's a very good one. There are various methods. Firstly, of course, you need to learn the basics. The banishing rituals, the invoking rituals, and then take it from there. What I will be doing, actually, hopefully by the end of this short YouTube video, I'll have a link to my free ebook. It's part of the deluxe version. The deluxe version you have to pay a little bit for. It's got the audio as well, so it's like a course in total protection and defense magic. But you can download the free version. It's got 7 powerful chapters in there that you can start practicing right away to have really effective results. And in there is all the advice you need to get going. And if you have been doing magic for a while, it's got the tweaks in there that really amplify things. So I recommend you download it. You just have to fill in your first name and email address because in exchange for the free download, I'd like to send you some newsletters and some more information on what's happening with my YouTube channel, etc. You don't have to download it, but that's a fair trade-off, isn't it? And it's free. Okay, now the next question you have is, you say, hi, sorry, I have another question in mind. I've been trying to use the Goetia seals, but haven't had much luck. Can you tell me how to use them correctly? Okay, well, the seals and Goetia magic's a little bit of advanced there. I know there are some magicians and some authors that say anybody can do it and you can dive right in. But to me, that is absolute, I'm going to have to say it, bullshit. This is more advanced. You really have to know the basics. You have to have the foundation. Because let's look at it this way. If you're joining a gym, right, you want to build muscle and you don't really have much, but you want to become a bodybuilder or just improve, right? Are you going to walk to the bench press, load up 250 pounds or 300 pounds, and then try and press that off your chest? People can say you're free to try, which is true, but what's more likely going to happen? More likely you're going to get it off the rack and it's going to crash down on your chest and put you in hospital. This is the same with these types of spirit types of magic. They can be going smoothly. You may have a natural talent, you may have natural protection, and it's okay. Or you may release something inside of you or outside of you that'll cause you problems, and you don't know when it's going to crop up. But once these problems happen, it's very hard to pinpoint, very hard to correct. It'll just harm you, and then that will just stagnate your progress in magic and everything else you're doing. Alright? There is a book from Poke Runyon that I recommend. Hang on, let me just stand up here because I've got it in my bookcase. Let me walk over to my bookcase over here. Hopefully I have it here, easy to locate. Here it is. Okay. Now, this is one of my favorite books. It's not everybody's favorite, but in terms of effectiveness, his method really works. And I think that's what you want. Now, you do have to put a bit of work in it because you have to construct some things. But you know what? Anything worthwhile doing and getting requires a bit of effort, right? So you'll get more satisfaction out of it, and you'll become really proficient at this. It's called The Book of Solomon's Magick by Carol Polk Runyon. And you can find a copy on Amazon.com, or you may have a look at the used bookstores. Now, it does come with a companion DVD. It's sold separately. I have both. I found them to be tremendously helpful, and the results I've gotten from this were outstanding, better than any other system I tried. Not to say that other systems don't work, but for me, I recommend it. It's tried and proven. Okay, so I hope that helps. The next question, let's see. Okay, we have L77L. Okay, it's the message says, "Hi, 7th. Brazil fell off yesterday," talking about the soccer, right? "Oh, bother. France is doing great." Well, that's true, they are. They're not my favorite, but yeah, they've got a really strong team. My question is, what extracurricular book or books do you recommend as a first read to a neophyte? Thank you for the wonderful work. Have a lovely weekend. Well, first off, you may find some recommendations in my early days here on my YouTube channel. I list a couple of books. It depends what area you are into, because you need to build a base, a foundation. So the first thing I would do, since I've produced it, there is a free ebook about protection and defense magic, and I recommend that every neophyte, everybody getting into it, even in intermediate stages, becomes a master of protection and defense magic. Because if you can clear out all the negativity, all the blocks, and then repel all the attacks, you give yourself the advantage of allowing then all the positive energies and all the things you want to manifest from happening. Okay, so that's what I recommend. So download that, it's free. The other books I recommend, let's see if I have them lying around here. Because it really depends what you want to get into, which line. I wouldn't get into the heavier books yet. Like Stephen Skinner has amazing books, but they are heavy and they're very academic. So as a beginner, I wouldn't really go for that. If you're into like a solitary magic of the Golden Dawn type, then one book I would recommend you at least try, although it is big, but it's like a course. It's called Self-Initiation into the Golden Dawn Tradition by Chick Cicero and Sandra Tabitha Cicero. That's an excellent book to get your hands on. So you probably should tell me which branch of magic or what your goals are, so I could recommend you a little bit better. But if you learn the Golden Dawn style of magic, you'll have a powerful foundation, and people mistake that style of magic as being archaic or out of date. It's because they really don't know how powerful the system is. If you have any knowledge about it, for example, the lesser ritual of the pentagrams, the lesser banishing ritual, and the lesser invoking ritual are extremely powerful, and done correctly, they have a profound protective and also cleansing effect like no other. And there's so many rituals from there that if you incorporate, if you learn really well, you have a real powerful base to propel any other form of magic and incorporate other magical systems on top of. So the other book I recommend is By Names and Images. This was by Peregrine Wildoak, Bringing the Golden Dawn to Life. Once again, this is a manual full of the rituals and the magic they use there, but it's really good. The tone sometimes is a little bit more towards the goddess, and I prefer a more balanced approach. But apart from that, it's really good. So that's another one. Then the other book I would recommend is actually a book on magic, but it doesn't appear to be. It's called Creative Visualization by Shakti Gawain. Now, some people think, okay, this has nothing to do with magic, but you're wrong, because your visualization ability and faculties, if you master that, this is one of the keys to manifesting things. And there are a lot of exercises here that are directly related to that. And the training in there is phenomenal in all aspects. So I recommend that one. If you want to go back, more of a neophyte book, there's a lot of secret teachings in this book for the neophyte, and it's got the base teachings as well. You may want to pick up a copy of the Z5 Secret Teachings of the Golden Dawn by Pat Zaleski. The Neophyte Ritual, which is book 1. He did write a more recent one, which you may want instead. It's called the Golden Dawn Rituals Commentaries. It's a big book. So that's all I have for you on that. But if that answer didn't satisfy you, then drop me another line and tell me exactly what line of magic or what your goals are, so then we can really hone in on it. Okay? All right, we have another question here from, let's have a look, Rodrigo Gonzalez. And Rodrigo asks, is Kabbalah the most complete esoteric knowledge? System to gain knowledge? I'm not sure. I don't know. I use it, but to be honest, it is heavy. It is a heavy course of study. But I recommend everybody go into it and at least understand the tree of life and the base foundations of Kabbalistic magic, because it can get you far. But whether you go deeper into it or not is up to you. There is the, what do you call it? I'm losing the word. The traditional approach, which is very Jewish, and they don't like foreigners or strangers dabbling in it. And then there's more of the westernized, the Greek form of Kabbalah, which spread through Europe, which I recommend anyway. But if you want to start getting into Kabbalah and whatever, a lighter approach would be a book by Israel Regedi. It's called Foundations of Practical Magic, an introduction to Kabbalistic, magical, meditative techniques. That's pretty good. Now, which version should you get? Just a minute. Let me have a look, because there are different versions. The one I have is the right one, by Eon Books. Get the one published by Eon Books. Eon, A-E-I-O-N. Okay? It's got a brown cover, and in the front it's got a portrait of McGregor Mathers. You could hardly see it, but it's in a gold frame, that portrait. There is another, let's see, by Lon Milo Duquette, about Kabbalah. Something chicken Kabbalah or something. I could be wrong. I haven't read it in years, so I can't remember off the top of my head. But that's a lighter book. Let me type it up here. Actually, hang on. Give me a second, if you don't mind. I will jump on Amazon, because that just came to mind, and it's a book I read a long time ago, and it was light, and it was good. Because you don't want to go too heavy all the time with this stuff, because it just becomes just boring. You want to have a bit of fun. While we're talking about Lon Milo Duquette, a book I really recommend, although he is a bit haphazard in his approach, it's called My Life with the Spirits, The Adventures of a Modern Magician. This is going way back to 1999 when it came out. If you haven't read that, get it. It was a brilliant read. It's quite motivating. It shows a lot of mistakes he made. I don't recommend following his example here, but he even says that he had a lot of near misses using that approach. But it's fun and it's inspirational and it's good. Anyway, I'm trying to look for that book. Here it is. It's called The Chicken Kabbalah, and the longer title is called The Chicken Kabbalah of Rabbi Lamed Ben Clifford by Lon Milo Duquette. This is about the Kabbalah, and it'll teach you the basics, the important basics, but it's done in a light-hearted and very fun way, so I recommend you pick a copy of that up if you're interested in the Kabbalah, that is. Okay? If you want a deeper study into Kabbalah and the Tree of Life, you may want to pick up The Tree of Life, A Study in Magick by Israel Regedi and Lon Milo Duquette. That's more in depth, that's heavier, but that's a deeper course of study. All right, now let's go back to the questions page. And let's see, where are we? Okay, so here we have another question. This one is from Lobidosa. I think that's how you pronounce it. And this is what the question is. Observed after doing the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, on and off for months. At first, I had a few physical threats from people. Then, I noticed gradually bad people, such as malicious, gossips, and others, such as annoying neighbors, moved out of my circle of life. My question is, what can one expect if I start doing the invoking form of the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram? And what are we invoking in our personality or in life? Thank you. Okay, first of all, the invoking form is not the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram. It's the lesser invoking ritual of the pentagram. You have to do both forms. In the morning, you do the invoking form. Okay, the invoking form is done in the morning. What can you expect? Well, it brings in and attracts the good and positive forces to enter your life, and the energies that may be around you that are positive that are not getting through. Okay, so you can expect more positive things to start happening. It also creates a protective barrier, even the invoking, because you're bringing in the higher energies and you're calling in for the divine assistance into your space to help you throughout the day. So you can expect a gradual improvement of your situation. This is not to say that you'll never have anything bad or negative happen, because in everybody's natural course of life, you have certain events that are out of your control, and it's a cause and effect by what you do as well. You'll get a reaction from people or those about you. But in terms of energy and spiritual improvements, you should get an improvement of your condition and feeling as well. You should get a more positive feeling around you. And then when you... Oh, pardon me, that was a burp. Unexpected. Well, I had a new brand of coffee, actually. It's a new type of Colombian blend, but I'm not sure if it's a very good one, actually. I went to Costco and I got it. It's 100% Colombian Supreme, it says, but it makes me burp from time to time. So, and I don't add milk, so it is a bit odd. Anyway, but it could be something else, so sorry about that. Anyway, getting back to it. What were we talking about? Oh yes, we were talking about the lesser ritual of the pentagram, which comprises two forms. The lesser invoking ritual of the pentagram, which you do in the mornings, and the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagrams, which you do in the evenings. So the banishing should clear out any negativity or the negative gunk that you may have accumulated throughout the day. It does light up your astral body a bit, so it may not clear everything out, but that's just the way it is. I have a video on doing that. Do it my way and see what you think, because it's a more protective form. I do the golden bubble light of protection after doing it. just to protect myself further from any astral parasites they may get in, because when you're performing these rituals, you actually light up on the astral. That cannot be helped. When you get to the higher levels, you'll be doing the hexagram rituals and all other forms of rituals which really add to your protection and improving your condition. So once again, I would recommend you to pick up a copy of By Names and Images by Peregrine Wildoak, where all these rituals and exercises are explained in detail in a very concise and interesting manner. Okay? Alright, I hope that answers your question. Now let's move on. What do we have? Next one is by Pammy Rogers. Pammy asks, this is great. Okay, here's my question. What should I do to avoid possible disaster at a job I love, but work for a couple of unstable people? I've already seen one person in my department get unfairly roasted, and she just put in her notice. I mostly am well respected by the higher ups, but my immediate boss is, I suspect, bipolar and can be a vicious bully. There is rumor of her retiring at the end of the year, but I want to survive this hairy period going on right now. I just got in the mail today, per your recommendation, the Master Book of Psalms, and was thinking of doing Psalm 78 as instructed, but I don't have the Kabbalah oil, or should I be doing something else? Okay, well, Pammy, first of all, if you're using the Psalm book, you don't need the Kabbalah oil. You can use natural extra virgin olive oil. That is actually a holy oil, believe it or not, but it became really good when they processed it in higher extracted forms. The Italians created this superior oil, but the vibration from extra virgin olive oil is very pure, so it is used even in the Catholic Church, etc. Because it works. It is a powerful anointing oil, so you can use that. If you download the free ebook, it outlines how to use that for protection and also for other forms of magic. So, Pammy, what you can also do if you have the time, I recommend going to Lucky Mojo, because they have a very good oil called Boss Fix oil. It's got all the ingredients in there prepared. It's only around $7 or $8. And get that oil, and also you may want to get the, let's see, what's the other oil there they have? Give me a second, because I just lost my train of thought. Once again, I'll have to go online to find that, because I haven't used this for a long time, because I haven't had to. I used it once about 3 years ago, and I had great success with it because I was experimenting. I've done many years experimenting. It's that's right, it's called Steady Work. Let's see if I have the oil here. Yeah, I have it. Here, I found it. Okay, there's two. One is called the Boss Fix oil, and the other one is called the Steady Work oil. You may want to get both of those. And you can dress a candle. Start with, I think you know how to do it, but if you don't, one method, there are many methods. Start at the center of the candle and pour maybe 5 or 6 drops in a dish of both oils, so they mix up. Dab your finger on it, and then from the center go up and keep anointing the oil, turning it from up to the top, and then turn the candle over, and then from the middle down again upwards, but to the bottom part of the candle till it's all anointed. Put it in a candle holder. And then what you can do is, yes, Psalm 78 will work wonders. And just recite that psalm several times. several being, I always say 7 is best in this case, okay? Then when you finish that, I want you to imagine, you can close your eyes, or if you can imagine without closing them, visualize, it's up to you. Imagine that individual, that particular boss that's a bit wonky, a bit odd, is in front of you, and just smile at her and imagine seeing her smile even slightly back at you. Then imagine a purple light, a purple ray from your navel area extend out into her navel area and send good, warm, positive energy, and you see her entire body filling up with this purple, wonderful energy, and she's glowing and she's smiling at you, and you're smiling back, and you have a good feeling. And then just imagine her disappearing. Okay? Do this every day. Hopefully the situation by the time you hear this has not deteriorated, so then you will have good results if you use this before it deteriorates. If things have gone south before you use it, it's harder to salvage, or it's a situation where it was already been predetermined and it's pretty hard to fix. But if things are not too bad, they're still holding, like when you asked me the question, then start with this immediately. If you don't have the ingredients yet, then just start by anointing the candle, even with olive oil, and say the psalm. And then do the visualization energy ritual that I just mentioned until the oils arrive. Okay? Well, I hope that helps. There are many ways, many ways, but that's one way I found is very effective, and I'm sure it will work for you as well. Let's see, what do we have next? Okay, we have the next one is by Hi, It's Me. Okay, that's the name. How do you banish a stubborn entity that is inside you? It's a lion entity, and all it does is feed on my energy. I've tried everything, and it's getting big because it's stealing my energy in order to do so. Alright, it's kind of hard to understand your situation there, but it sounds like you've identified a spirit. So basically this is a form of possession. You would need an exorcism of some sort, okay? And I'm going to give you a procedure to try in a second. Okay, so to do a self-exorcism, I got to tell you that a lot of people that are anti-Christian, against Christians, etc., for whatever bias they have, don't understand that the Psalms are extremely powerful for these situations. Now, you don't even have to believe in the supposed Judaic gods, because all beliefs and all systems, no matter what pantheon that you follow, actually praise the one God source energy, you could say, the source of all life on earth. And we can call that the God force. So these prayers doesn't mean you have to believe in any of the Judaic or Christian faiths, although Christians do have the added benefit of having that strong, firm belief that what they are doing will work anyway. But these prayers are spells in and unto themselves. All prayer forms are. And they have thousands of years of application and proven benefits. So what I want you to do is this. I want you to keep an open mind, because this really works. Okay? Obviously, whatever you've been following has been harming you. It hasn't been very beneficial. So what you have to do is you have to cleanse and then remove the so-called possessing, let's call it evil spirit. And you do this. I want you to take a look. It's in the PDF. Perform the Kabbalistic cross first. Follow those instructions. Then after that, I want you to do the lesser invoking ritual of the pentagram. Okay? I want you to do the invoking, not the banishing one at this stage. Invoking, because you need to invite the positive divine forces into your sphere to help you. Then what I want you to do is I want you to recite Psalm 59. Psalm 59 is specifically designed to remove evil spirits. It has other protection usages as well, but that's one of the main ones. And I want you to recite it 59 times. Yes, it's a lot. 59 times. So after each round that you perform it, you can take a few deep breaths, relax a bit, and go again. And do keep count. If you're not good at keeping count in your head, have a sheet of paper in front of you and a pen. And each time you finish, you write the number. So you start with 1, then 2, and 3 until you reach 59. 59 times, it's the prescribed amount. Okay? After you've finished it 59 times, I want you to take a glass of mineral water or distilled water. Just one glass. Okay, fill it up. And this one, you will need sea salt. So you have to go to your local store and buy some sea salt, actually. Not iodized table salt, sea salt. You want sea salt, okay? And you will put half a teaspoon of this sea salt into the glass. Then with your hand over it, you'll close your eyes, and then you will say, I call upon the forces of good and the divine forces that originate with the God force that I am now connected with, and my higher self to bless this salt and this water, to dispel it of all impurities and all evil or negative energies or entities. And then you can say Amen or mote it to be. It's quite simple. Okay? And imagine, actually I should have mentioned this, while you're doing it, you have to imagine yourself linking to this white light, far off, deep in, let's call it space, this bright, pure light, which is the God force energy. You're feeling just the goodness come through you, and a beam of light shoots down through the top of your head, down through your head, it's down through your spine to the heart region, down to your solar plexus region, okay, and from there it shoots back up and out to your outstretched right hand usually. And you see this beam of light now going into the glass of water, and it shoots down into the glass of water, and you just see all the water become bright with glowing light, with positive, pure, divine energy. Okay? Alright, at this point, I know it's going to taste terrible, but I want you to take your time, and I want you to drink it all. Okay, if you feel a little bit nauseous, then stop and then try and drink it again, but you're going to drink the whole thing, okay, because it's blessed. Alright, now this will dispel or control the entity, and you're going to do this for 1 week, 7 days non-stop, and this should be enough to drive out that, you call it a lion spirit, this possessive spirit. It will. Now you may have some shaking, you may even vomit, you may break out into a sweat. That's okay. But if you're feeling, if you start to get feelings of anger or something like that, know that the spirit wants to hang on, but it's not. It's being pushed out. No matter how hard it wants to hang on, it's coming out. And nothing bad will happen. You'll just have slight feelings, and you'll be able to control them, and then boom, during the night while you're asleep, it will be expelled within these 7 days. It's very effective, so keep repeating this every day. Every morning is preferable. Before you sleep at night, I want you to perform the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram. Okay? Refer to that exercise in the PDF that you'll see a link. And also sleep with the glass of water close by near your head. It's explained also in the PDF. Well, I hope that helps, because it really will work. You'll see. It will fix your condition. Okay? All right. That's good. And also do Psalm 84 in the same way. You'll do it 84 times. It's lengthy, but that's what you're going to be doing. It does work. It does work. And after a week doing those two psalms together, you'll be free of that condition. You won't be bothered anymore by it. You would have expelled it completely. All right, moving right along, we have a question from Mickey Curiel. And Mickey writes, how to get rid of chronic, really bad luck or negativity. Everything goes wrong around me, from the smallest to the biggest aspect of my life for years. Will appreciate very much any help. Thanks. Okay, all right. Well, Mickey Curiel, yes, indeed. One of the things is basically your mindset. It seems to me like there's a certain amount of self-sabotage. There may be other factors at play. However, the best way to get rid of this condition is, once again, if you download my free ebook. It's called High Percentage Protection Magic. How to completely eliminate cursed and cross conditions and negative forces. So I think this is exactly what you need. And go and I want you to do everything that's in the 7 chapters there. But particularly, I want you to go to chapter 4 and chapter 5, because I have included 2 very special Tibetan talismans or amulets. There isn't much distinction between amulets and talismans. That's more of a modern kind of semantical distinction, because not only does it dispel all these negative conditions, but it also attracts very positive ones. So it's a combination of both. The first one is called the Nam Gyalma, and what you do, I've provided it there. It's the original talisman. You just print it out and hang it above the door. Instructions are in the ebook. It's really powerful. You'll start to see things really change for the better for you. And chapter 5 is the second one. It's called the Samsada doorway negative karma dissolver. So if your condition is due, it does sound like it is due to some sort of negative karma, whether you've brought it upon yourself or whether it's ancestral. This will dissolve the negative karma, and at least it'll put a hold on the negative things that are happening, so then good things will happen. Then there are other exercises, other rituals, other spells in that ebook that will vastly improve your condition to the point where your bad luck will be eliminated from your life. Okay, these 7 chapters are the best of the best for protection magic, to remove these cursed and cross conditions and negative forces from you. Okay, they are that powerful. I've tested them for many years. My group has tested them for many years, actually over 20 years, and we've compiled these, and I've put it together because I want to help people. Okay, I also have another product that's coming out, which is the full deluxe version, which also includes audios. It's more in depth. It has absolutely everything in there, but you don't need that for now. You just download this free ebook, and it's designed exactly for people like you that have had bad luck or have been cursed or are suffering from cross conditions. Okay, so please enjoy that. Download it. The link is here under the video. Okay, I hope that helps in terms of information, and the book definitely will fix your condition. Alright, so now we have a question, actually 2 questions from Bodybuilding Occultist. And Bodybuilding Occultist asks, first and foremost, what is the best way of charging a sigil? Second part of the question, how long have you been a practitioner of the craft? How and why you got into this sort of thing? Okay, so let me get into the subject of sigils. Charging sigils is a little bit of an odd action, and I'll explain why in a minute, because a sigil needs to be charged by implanting it into the subconscious mind. One of the best ways of doing it is through physical stimulation while intensely focusing. But there are 2 parts. After you do this, and you have to do it with an intensity, then you have to banish it and forget about it. I know there are some people that say you look and you use and you keep looking at the sigil, but you don't actually. You have to banish it. So if we look, one of the foremost specialists, you might say, at sigil magic was what's his name? Austin Spare, or Osman Spare. Austin Osman Spare was his full name. That's right, I remember. And he developed what was called a death posture. Death posture doesn't mean you die, as he just gave it these extreme names because it's a little bit uncomfortable. The exact method he used, we're not too sure. There are many ways. I'm not going to go into the more sexual types of charging or whatever, because in my mind, in one way they work, in another way they're very distracting, to be honest. But if you can channel that energy, that's okay. I'm going to give you a different version that works really well, but you really need to possibly practice this. Okay, so what you have to do is some people say stand up, but actually I would recommend sitting. Okay, so you have to have the sigil on a table in front of you so it's clearly visible, and this is a breathing method that's not too pleasant. What you have to do is you have to take a deep breath, okay, and then you have to close your mouth, close your eyes, ears and nostrils if that's possible, using the fingers of your hands. What do I mean by possible? Well, as long as you don't have any breathing problems, you're not a sufferer of asthma or something, you don't have any heart problems. If you have any of those problems, don't use this technique. But if you're a healthy individual, then follow these instructions. So you close your eyes, your mouth, your ears, and your nostrils with the fingers of both hands. Then you have to keep holding your breath until you almost can't take it anymore. But don't let go yet, okay? You keep holding your breath, and while you do this, you should think about nothing. You should try and empty your mind, okay? So maybe between your mind's eye, just try to come up with a blank state. You may see a blank wall, a white wall, a black wall, doesn't matter. Just empty your mind. If any thoughts come in, just notice they're there and eliminate them, okay? Alright, and then just before you're about to pass out, I know it's a bit extreme, you open your eyes as wide as possible and you stare at that sigil while exhaling the remaining breath and then inhaling the fresh air, okay? Then you abruptly close your eyes again and you banish the sigil. Alright? So this is how you do it. So that's step 1. Step 2 is banishing. So after activating the sigil in this way, okay, you need to banish it. This is the first step in forgetting the entire operation, which is crucial. So the easiest way to banish it is to let out a very loud, hearty, fun-filled laugh. I know it may seem unnatural, but for some reason this laugh, even if it's fake at first, works. okay, because it just disrupts your mind, and it's one of the best ways to do it. So laughing is one of the most uncomplicated ways of achieving a state of empty mind, okay? If you can get into this method, it really, really works. Then after doing that, you should get along with something that's interesting or entertaining, whether it's music or playing a game or something else that needs total focus and attention. So you distract yourself from the magical operation by concentrating on something completely profane, all right? The less it has to do with magic, the better. Forget about magic for the rest of the day. So activities like I mentioned, playing a game or exercising or getting involved with music or something that just completely takes up your time. All right? Okay, because all these activate and they affect the subconscious mind, okay, in a kind of like trance-like state. You've entered a trance-like state. All right, anyway, that is the best way to charge the sigil. Now, ideally, you should forget not only the external appearance of the sigil, but also its intention. Okay, I know it's difficult to do in practice since you usually look at it and focus on it again, but that is how you actually charge the sigil, the most effective form. Okay. Now, the importance of forgetting or not noticing it anymore is just because the process has to become subconscious. You don't want the conscious mind then later interfering with what you've just done. That's why. So then put it away. It could be anywhere. Of course, if you have other people in the house, make sure they don't interfere with it. Just keep it somewhere that is private to you, but where you're not likely to then view it consciously or pick it up or handle it. For example, I usually put it in a book somewhere. It could be any book, and then a couple of weeks or months later I may pick up the book unintentionally, flick through it, oh, there it is, and then put it somewhere else and forget about it again, so I don't notice it. So it's in the house, it's not destroyed, but I'm not seeking it out, because then I'll try to remember what it's for, and then this is where other thoughts can interfere with the subconscious process of your ritual while your sigil is charged. Okay, anyway, I hope that helps. Follow that method and you would have successfully charged it. Remember, there are 4 steps to creating and charging and having an effective sigil. First is your statement of intent, right? That's why you're creating the sigil. Then you got to create the sigil using very abstract, disguised lines or words or whatever you do to actually design it. Then you have to charge the sigil in the method I just outlined. That's one very, very effective method. There are many, many others though. Then you banish it so you don't notice it anymore. Empty thought, so the subconscious can do its magic, so to speak. All right then, so thanks for fielding that question. The second part is, let me have a look. What was the second part of your question? It is, how long have you been practicing the craft? Well, I don't call it the craft. I've been practicing since I was 10 years old, basically. It is quite a long story. I'll go into it one day. So all in all, that would be 39 years I've been doing this. Okay, we have Ofra Peretz asks, thank you for your work. How can I help someone to heal through magic? Medicine says there's no cure. Please help. Greetings and peace. Okay, now since I didn't know what the condition was anyway, and these things can be very complicated, and I'm not even sure if I could help, I then asked a follow-up question. What is the condition, diagnosis, and what remedies have been tried? And Ofra replied, Seventh Phoenix, thank you for your reply. She was diagnosed with Alzheimer's 4 years ago. We refuse to give her any medication. As a doctor said, those medications never help no one. So we give her, since 4 years, natural remedies, high dose E. Let's see what else. Coconut cocktail with curcuma and pepperine, omega-3s, vitamin D. Also, since a year, C60, which is a high antioxidant. After 4 years doing this daily, she still knows every one of us. We feel that she's not a typical Alzheimer's case. We feel that her illness appeared because of someone who scared her, probably hit her when we weren't at home. Since she felt that this person was following her and always was very scared of all, that's when it started. It was very sudden. Thank you for your help. I'm not expecting any guarantee. I just hope for the best and will do everything possible. God bless. Yes, these cases are very difficult because it could be physical and also psychological and also physiological. Naturally, diet and supplementation is very important. Like you said, vitamin E is very good. Vitamin D is very good. So antioxidants are important. Ginkgo biloba as well. You should continue getting her to stimulate her brain through socializing and also some form of mental activity, if possible. Going for walks. Hopefully she's still physically active. Because you need the physical exercise, or she needs to move her body every day, quite rigorously or vigorously, I should say, if possible, to get the blood moving. Apart from that, do Psalm 123. Psalm 123 is very helpful. Apart from that, though, if you refuse the doctor's treatment, I'm not a doctor, and this seems to be a combination of, even if it's psychological trauma, she now has the physiological indicators. So it's very hard for me to say anything more than other do Psalm 123. If you feel this is because someone scared her and have been targeting her in some way, then this will start relieving the symptoms. Also recite Psalm 18. This one is for health as well. You may want to write it down. Actually, I recommend writing it down as well. Folding it up into a little square patch and anointing each corner with extra virgin olive oil. And you can say a prayer. It could be the Lord's Prayer. It would match the Psalms or something different. And then, have her wear this or put it in her purse or whatever. It has to be carried for 7 days. So please try those remedies. There's also another supplement you may be interested in. It's a treatment. Although it is a treatment mainly for cancer, it is a very good body and brain detoxifier. It's called Essiac, ESSIAC, and it comes in a liquid form or in a tea form. I'll let you do more research. But I actually had my grandmother years ago use it, and her health really improved a lot. Considerably. So she couldn't walk so well, and then we started giving her these herbal teas, and then after a week or so, she was able to move about, and she regained quite a very nice, healthy glow. So you may want to have a look at that, Essiac. Okay, well, all the best on that. I'm sorry I can't give you any more advice on that one. The Psalms really do work well for these things, but also you have to take care of the physiological part, and you seem to have done that quite well with the antioxidants, the vitamin E's, the vitamin D's. You may want to add ginkgo biloba because that's very good for the brain circulation. I do recommend it. I actually use it because it helps me concentrate and focus more. Helps maybe it puts the oxygen back into the brain with greater and improved blood flow and circulation there. It's very important. All right, so all the best on that there, Ofra. I hope that helps.